Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation, thank you very much for joining me. There's this interesting, I've tried all kinds of different health and diets for my physiology and for what I'm going through now, and I had been doing a lot of physical activity outside and getting my mom moved and all these boxes packed and just an insane amount of physical activity and caloric intake. And then we got here and we were looking for houses, everything was in storage, and I did nothing for a little while, at least not to the degree that I was doing it. And I gained like 20 or 30 pounds in like a 4 to 6 month span, and I've been dropping that off quite consistently, like 10 pounds a month. And I found a couple techniques that worked really, really good, and that I've noticed some really drastic health changes. Now, what I used to do is, and I still do, is I have a shake every morning and before bedtime, and this shake consists of, like, and everything's organic. It's a mix of greens or some kale or some spinach or a mix thereof, or an organic spring mix. And then there's some, quite a bit of like ginger. There's quite a bit of turmeric, I think that's how you pronounce it. And then like a lemon, and it's cut up and put in there, and then a couple of the peels are put in there because there's tons of vitamin C and enzymatic activity in there. And they make it a really bitter, so you got to do this to your taste. And then 2 different apples, maybe 2.5 different kinds of apples for citrus pectin and malic acid, and you get vitamin C and all kinds of good stuff in there. And so a different variety of apples to have different types of other colloidal minerals and other types of trace types of elements in there. And then, so what else is in there? There's other stuff in there. I may or may not put a clove of garlic in there, or multiple cloves if I feel that I need to detox a little bit, because that's great for everything in the body. And I used to put a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, well, sometimes a whole bunch of olive oil in there, like an extra virgin olive oil. And that felt really heavy, and I noticed even some weight gain from that unless I had a lot of physical activity. Now what I'm doing is I make that same shake, I have it, and then either before or sometime after, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, I have some coconut oil, just like a spoonful of coconut oil, raw. And I've noticed that really kicks up the metabolism. And I was reading online too, that it does kick up your metabolism, and B, since it is a short chain amino acid or a short chain fatty acid, the way that it's orientated, it doesn't have a propensity to store as fat, where other like olive oil does, and flaxseed oil less so. I used flaxseed oil for a long time as well, and I like to switch different types of things around, because if you use the same types of foods every day, you can have a tendency to get allergic reactions to your food because the body kind of freaks out. Now, if you're having really good digestion, and you're taking probiotics, and you've taken the time to clean out your intestinal tract, you usually don't have problems with that, eating the same food every day. But it's good just for variety, and the ability to get different types of nutrients and from your foods is to have a variety of types of foods. And before, I was actually having it like an orange and a banana and an apple, and then the greens and whatnot mixed in there, and that was a lot of sugar. And I noticed, since I switched to more bitter types of things, which was a suggestion from a friend of mine, it's a very good suggestion, and it's better for yeast, and and your glycemic index, it doesn't have, it doesn't turn into fat quite as quickly, I've noticed, at least in my metabolism. And as far as caloric intake, it's really good. Now, the last thing I'll note, I put like a raw meal protein in there, like from the Garden of Life, or I'll put some for fiber, and it also has there's this protein powder that is hemp protein, and the hemp protein is really, really, really good. Tons and tons of fiber in there, and I notice a lot of regularity with that. But also the two combined bind it all together so it doesn't separate. Has a tendency to separate if it doesn't have a binder in it, and it can, some of those densities taste kind of nasty when they're all mixed together, and it has, maybe a protein powder in there that has a little vanilla in it, or chocolate, whatever makes you happy. It is a lot more balanced taste, and it lasts for a couple hours before we'll require another meal. And, you have a little bit of, like, maybe half an hour later, or with the meal, like a spoonful of coconut oil, so that you actually have a slow-burning fat. That, I've noticed, really does burn off the fat. For some reason, it does kick up my particular metabolism. So I just wanted to put that out there as a tip. I think the coconut oil is really good to that end. And I've experimented with flaxseed oil, variety types of flaxseed oil, and Barlean's is like my favorite with the ligands still in there, and with olive oil, which is cheaper, and I've seen a propensity to gain weight when I use even less calories worth of olive oil than the flax. And the coconut oil, that just really, and I notice my skin is really, really soft all over. And not using it externally, but using it internally, the polysaccharide. So there's something about whatever is in there, along with the CoQ10 and the other stuff I take, that really is good for elastin and really good for the skin. And I've been getting in the sun like 5 or 10 minutes a day, every day, practically every day, just to get a little sunlight right after I have my shake, to get some vitamin D, and I imagine some light and some love and some information and codes coming in through the crown chakra and unifying all the chakras while I'm doing that. There's one particular from Alcyone, a star in the Pleiades, that's said to be the keepers of galactic history, and they send relevant information to Earth through our sun. And that seems to be a lot of acceleration and energy when I do those and I go out in the sun, and give permission for those codes to download and that information to unravel as time through synchronicity. So I just wanted to share that. Feel more integration today, but more here and grounded, and still kind of sleepy, still running a little slower, but the brain seems to be working, at least the conduit between the physical matrix and the higher self. I felt there a separation between the two, and now I have a remembrance of being the higher self, looking through the physical matrix called the body. And that creates that double vision thing that Bashar described in the periscope technique. It's weird, and I can only see out of one eye, and I never had the occurrence of a remembrance, because I was 18 months old, of having binocular vision. It's not disconcerting, but it's very interesting. It's kind of strange. So, and the video before this one, we'll talk more about that and how that's kind of working for me. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching life, business, and spiritual. And please like, subscribe, and share if you find this useful. It is, it's a courtesy to others through synchronicity to have a better opportunity to find materials. And, there's always tons of stuff going on below. In the description, I have a plan to do, like, community events and stuff like that, like Bashar's type of stuff, and all these other types of channels, and put relevant information in there. I'm going to find a way to get that done really easily. I found some plugins, WordPress plugins, that seem like it's going to get that done really quick and easily and automatedly. That's not something that's within a Glenn's excitement. To automate it, that would be fantastic, to have a community board on the foundation site so you can find events relevant in an area or within a particular calendar month. So thank you very much for joining me, and have a fantastic day.